Speaking of sucking, Elon Musk was at Trump's side today. Elon took questions from the Oval Office with his son. He brought his son, R2 Musk, who is 4 years old. And as you can see, Trump was super excited to have the kid there.
What is the goal of those and I think a significant part of the presidency is to restore democracy?
So much warmth, you know, it's like a grandfather. And look at Trump's orange, angry face next to sheet white Elon Musk. It's like a Q-tip next to a traffic cone.
The world's richest man, the guy who owns Twitter and keeps making headlines, decides to take a shot at Jimmy Kimmel, calling him an insufferable nonsense propaganda puppet. That's a bold move, right? Well, Kimmel wasn't about to let it slide. He hit back hard, calling Musk out for his hypocrisy and turning his own words into pure comedic gold. But here's the kicker. Musk didn't just get roasted. He accidentally ruined Kimmel's big reveal for his upcoming show about propaganda. Can you even imagine? So what happens when you mess with Jimmy Kimmel? You get a masterclass in clapping back, and trust me, it's something you don't want to miss. What was Musk thinking?
Funny, these silly random rants of his, and they would be fine if he was hosting a podcast or selling knives at the farmer's market, but he's supposed to be leading us. People are listening to him, and the country is getting crazier.
You know, after the election results came in, Jimmy Kimmel took to the stage, ready to share his thoughts in true Kimmel fashion, mixing sharp political humor with insightful commentary. It's what he does best, especially when things are feeling bleak, and that night was no exception. The country was reeling from the post-election chaos, and Kimmel, ever the voice of reason with a punchline, tried to make sense of it all. Between talking about the uncertainty in the air and joking about the ridiculousness of it all, he managed to remind us that even in times of madness, humor can help us cope.
Let me tell you something. If I spent 2 weeks trying to come up with a 4-word description of Elon Musk, I don't think I could do better than insufferable nonsense propaganda puppet.
But then, as often happens when you mix humor with politics, someone had to take offense. Enter Elon Musk, the world's richest man and, well, apparently a big fan of stirring the pot. Musk caught wind of Kimmel's jokes and decided to chime in with his thoughts. He took to Twitter, calling Kimmel an insufferable nonsense propaganda puppet. A pretty harsh dig, right? Musk didn't hold back at all, which wasn't surprising given how active he's been on Twitter with his often controversial takes. Musk didn't find Kimmel's comments funny, or maybe just didn't want to let a jab go unnoticed. But here's the kicker. This tweet marked the beginning of a pretty intense back and forth that would get the attention of millions.
The guy who paid people $1 million a day to vote for Donald Trump is calling me a propaganda puppet.
Jimmy Kimmel wasn't about to let Elon Musk's tweet slide. In true Kimmel style, he turned the tables on Musk with a comeback that was nothing short of savage. Instead of getting defensive or backing down, Jimmy fired right back, calling Musk an insufferable nonsense propaganda puppet. Honestly, it was the perfect response, both hilarious and justified. If anyone was a propaganda puppet, it was Musk himself, given his recent actions. Kimmel had just flipped the script on Musk, and there was no turning back.
This guy, the New York Times is propaganda, the Washington Post is propaganda, the Atlantic is propaganda, NPR is propaganda, AP stands for Associated Propaganda. Listen, Kermit, you bought Twitter. You bought a social media platform that is literally a propaganda machine.
But Kimmel didn't stop there. Oh no, he went straight for the jugular. He called Musk out for buying Twitter, a platform that had turned into a massive breeding ground for political agendas, misinformation, and, yes, propaganda. Think about it. Musk spent billions to purchase a social media platform that was already full of chaos. But now, under his ownership, it's become even worse. Musk claims to be the champion of free speech. But what he's done is create an environment where extreme viewpoints are amplified and facts are often ignored. It's an ironic move from someone who pretends to stand for truth and transparency. Kimmel's burn wasn't just for laughs. It was a sharp critique of Musk's hypocrisy.
A Republican, I could have said drop to your knees and beg, and he would have done it. And you know what he means by beg. I'm sure you guys will be great together now that I'm sure his little hand will fit nicely in your sock hole.
Kimmel's approach to comedy has always been more than just telling jokes. It's about using humor to reveal the truth. And in this case, he hit the nail on the head. When Musk tweeted about Kimmel being a propaganda puppet, Kimmel didn't just throw in some offhand remark to brush it off. No, he took that moment and turned it into a sharp critique of Musk's entire persona. Musk likes to position himself as this free speech hero, but in reality, he's been using his wealth and power to fund the very propaganda he claims to stand against. By using comedy, Kimmel made us laugh, sure, but he also made us think. He didn't just let Musk's hypocrisy slide. He used humor to shine a light on it, making it clear that Musk's actions don't match his words. And that's the brilliance of Kimmel's style. He doesn't just entertain us. He makes us question things that need to be questioned, all while keeping us laughing.
For me, is for the last 6 months, I've been working on a project, and I was hoping to announce it in January when Trump takes office. But since the cat is now out of the bag, well, here it is, my new show. Insufferable nonsense propaganda puppet! And now the surprise is ruined thanks to Elon Musk.
There's also the whole situation with Kimmel's propaganda project, which adds a layer of delicious irony to the whole exchange. Kimmel had been working on a new show that was all about, you guessed it, propaganda. He was planning to reveal it in January after the election. Craziness calmed down a bit. But thanks to Musk's tweet, Kimmel's big announcement was spoiled. Instead of waiting for the grand reveal, Musk, through his complete lack of timing, ruined it. And the irony of that? It's just too good. Musk, who's been criticized for turning Twitter into a haven for misinformation, ends up inadvertently leaking Kimmel's project that's all about exposing the very things Musk is guilty of. It's the kind of cosmic comedy you can't plan. Musk's poor timing just became Kimmel's comedic goldmine.
At least my children like me, you know?
That's a reference to the ongoing tension between Musk and his transgender daughter Vivian. This week, the 20-year-old called her estranged dad a delusional and grubby little control freak.
Musk's handling of Twitter has been nothing short of chaotic, and Kimmel hasn't held back in calling him out on it. Ever since Musk bought the platform, it's been a downhill ride. The platform, once a place for a variety of voices and discussions, has turned into a toxic wasteland of misinformation and conspiracy theories. Musk claims to be a champion of free speech, but in reality, all he's done is give a louder platform to some of the most extreme voices out there, especially those on the far right. Instead of curbing the spread of false information, he's been accused of encouraging it. Whether it's the crazy conspiracy theories or the questionable figures being amplified, Twitter under Musk's leadership has become a place where chaos reigns supreme. And Kimmel, he's not shy about pointing that out.
Jimmy Kimmel is firing back at Elon Musk after the billionaire called him an insufferable nonsense propaganda puppet.
The guy who paid people $1 million a day to vote for Donald Trump is calling me a propaganda puppet.
Musk's reputation has taken a major hit in the eyes of many. It's hard to take anything he says seriously anymore, especially with the strange and inconsistent moves he's made recently. He's gone from being a self-proclaimed free speech advocate to someone who seems to bend over backward to appease people like Donald Trump. Musk's attempts to cozy up to Trump, someone who's far from the picture of reason, only add to the confusion. His public support for Trump, combined with his recent actions on Twitter, just make him look like a walking contradiction. Kimmel has been more than happy to point out these inconsistencies, showing the world that Musk is not the visionary he claims to be. Instead, he's just a billionaire with too much influence and a poor understanding of how to manage it. Kimmel's response to Musk goes beyond just a funny jab or a celebrity feud. It taps into something much bigger. At its core, Kimmel's mocking of Musk isn't about taking him down for personal gain. It's about holding the ultra-wealthy accountable for their actions. Musk may have billions, but that doesn't mean he gets a free pass to spread dangerous rhetoric or manipulate public discourse.
So when you're talking about pieces of shit, Jimmy, perhaps a mirror would be in order. Elon Musk responded to that tweet with a
For someone with that much power and influence, his words carry weight, and Kimmel isn't afraid to call him out on it. Musk, in many ways, represents a larger issue: billionaires who use their wealth and platforms to push agendas, often without thinking about the consequences of their actions. Kimmel's making sure that we don't just let the wealthy and powerful slip by without scrutiny, no matter how many zeros are on their paychecks. What makes Kimmel's response even more important is how he represents the average person in this whole mess. In a world where billionaires like Musk seem to think they can say whatever they want, get away with anything, and continue to shape society without accountability, Kimmel is a voice for the rest of us. He's not part of the ultra-elite world, and he's certainly not afraid to use his platform to stand up for regular people. By calling out Musk, Kimmel's reminding us all that we don't have to let the rich and powerful do whatever they want without consequences. He's using humor to speak truth to power, and that's something we can all appreciate. So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below.